for both the scholarly inclined in the audience. This is a tale from the second branch of the collection Drømde and Art, recorded by Pierre St. Cloud in the 12th century. For the rest of you, I'm just going to tell the story. Now, you have heard all the great tales of Paris and Helen and the Trojan War, of Troilus and Cressida, and all the great knights. So why would I bore you to repeat such tales when I can tell you of Reynard the fox, courtier of King Noble Reliant, and dread enemy of Isengrim the wolf? Now I will tell you an early tale of Reynard as he goes a-wandering and traveling through the wide world. He comes across a beautiful farm with orchard trees and vegetable gardens, and oh, most important for a fox, chickens. Succulent, juicy chickens. And he looks over the fence and he says to himself, I will die if I cannot eat these chickens. But there is a fence, a stake fence interwoven with a hawthorn brake. And he cannot go under, for there are thorns, and of course, he's wearing his good red coat. So he thinks to go over, and he looks at the branches of the trees, but he realizes there is no place he can go over the fence and drop in on those chickens, where he will not be seen. And if he is seen, the chickens will scatter, and being small, they will go under the hedge where he cannot reach them. So he cannot go over, and he cannot go under. So he goes around and around until he finds a hole in the fence. And he slips through the hole in the fence and lands among the cabbages. But he makes a noise, and the chickens hear it. And there's all the scattering and screaming that chickens do, and they run this way and that way. Now, Chanticleer the rooster, as happens, is coming back into the yard. He has, some ways away, a dung heap on which he enjoys to posture himself and display his majesty. And returning from his dung heap, he sees all the hens running around the yard. So he goes to his wife, Dame Kinta, and he says, why are you all running around the yard? Well, there was a movement or a noise in the cabbage patch. There's some horrible animals going to eat us all. And Chanticleer says, oh, you are silly hens. There's nothing to be afraid of. Well, just in case, we'd like you to keep watch. So fine, the rooster struts out to keep watch, and he looks over the cabbage patch, but he is too wise to see. And so, since he is not afraid, he stands there for a while and closes one eye, and closes the other eye, and drifts off to sleep. But then he has a terrible dream. Oh, someone comes behind him and thrusts a coat or a cloak over him, but the whole opening is too small. His head won't fit through, and it's lined in fur, and there are thorns, and he wakes up screaming and running about the yard. And the chickens all come to him. Why are you screaming and running about the yard? Oh, I had a terrible dream. Oh, you are a silly rooster. There's nothing to be afraid of. So he asks his wife, Dame Kinta, who's the wisest of the chickens, what his dream means. And she says, well, it seems to me it was not a cloak or a jacket, but rather the gullet of a great beast. And what you took for fur lining was his fur coat. And what you took for thorns were his teeth. And it means we are all going to be eaten. Nonsense, says the rooster. I'm keeping watch. So he strides back out to regain his dignity and be alone over there by the cabbage patch. And Reynard the fox has been watching all this time. And he watches the rooster as slowly once again he goes to sleep. And Reynard slips out quietly, one paw after the other. And just as he's ready to pounce, the rooster wakes up again, startled. And he's screaming. And Reynard says, oh, Chanticleer, my friend, I am so sorry to have startled you. We are so close, I feel we are kin, and you know I would never hurt a relative. Why, I have come in hopes to find you, for I remember your father, Chanticleer, who could sing in notes so pure and so true. that everyone for miles around would marvel to hear it. Will you not sing for me? Well, the rooster's a little wary of the fox. He takes another step back, and the fox, all innocent, stays where he is. And Chanticleer begins to sing, but he keeps one eye open. And he sings loud and strong. And Renard says, well, that was marvelous. But to tell the truth, if that was your very best, I am a little disappointed. Your father, Chanticleer, could sing so that all the farms around would hear him. He would lose himself in the song and close both eyes and become swept up in the music. He sang so much stronger with his eyes closed. So Chanticleer, who is proud, takes a deep breath, closes both his eyes, and the fox pounces on him and grabs him in his mouth and runs away. At this time, as it is vespers and getting dark, the wife comes into the yard to gather all the chickens, and she sees that a fox has made away with a rooster. And she tries to chase him, and she throws sticks after him, but he's too fast. Well, her husband, the farmer, comes out and says, why are you running to the yard? Well, there's a fox stealing our best rooster. Well, why aren't you doing anything about it? So finally, the farmer gets the dogs out, he looses his hounds, and they chase after the fox. The fox runs to the hole in the fence, and they chase through the woods and down over the stream until they come to a small hollow where the fox can squeeze himself in, and the hounds can't reach him. Well, says Chanticleer, hanging from the wolf's or the fox's mouth, you must be terribly ashamed. I mean, listen to them, they're mocking you, having driven the great fox to ground. You are clever and wise. Will you let them speak of you this way? Now, Renard the fox is very crafty, but even the wisest mind sometimes can be deceived by pride. And he runs to the edge of the den, drops the rooster, opens his mouth and says, he's mine! At which point the rooster quickly flies away up into the tree and is gone. And so the poor fox has to slink back into his hollow and wait for a moment when the dogs leave and he can scurry away, alone and hungry.